All right, hello, metal motherfuckers, and welcome to the third installment of Hangar 18, where we're going to bash your face off with some badass reviews of some various metal songs. And with me, as always, and by as always, I mean for the first time, is my guy, Dreadwind.
What's up, what's up?
And Tony.
Some people call me Mr. Stark, but my friends call me Tony.
All right. I have explosive ordnance, so I'm going to call you whatever the fuck I want. How about that?
Yeah, just because you're bigger makes you it's a bigger target. That's all.
All right. And as always,
did you purchase them from Tony?
What's up?
I was saying, did you purchase your ordnance from Tony, or did that come from Swindle?
No, definitely Swindle Tech Enterprises. All right, and of course, as always, you have me, your heavy metal host, the most Thundercracker or Dan, whatever the fuck you want to call me. I don't care. Just get off my airframe. All right. So anyway. As always, we start off our show with a little bit of heavy metal news action. And, all right, I want to talk about two different things. Number one, Lamb of God, which is one of my favorite bands, because I fucking love them, and I love Randy Blythe. He's got amazing stage presence, and their songs are all awesome. And if you don't like Lamb of God, then fuck you. No, I'm just joking. You're allowed to not like Lamb of God, but seriously, fuck you.
Yeah, seriously, fuck you.
All right. Anyway, their new song, "The Duke," is coming out pretty soon, and they're releasing the EP in December. It's one of the things I wanted to talk about. And also, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but there's another band that I really like called White Zombie, and their song "More Human Than Human," which is off of their Astro Creep 2000 album, it has a sock puppet video now available on YouTube.
Fun fact, I shared both of those stories on my Facebook page earlier, and those were both my stories.
Oh, really?
They were.
Shit. All right, well, anyway, yeah, it has a sock puppet. Has a sock puppet parody, and it's pretty much Halloween themed, so there you go.
It's actually really good.
I haven't seen the video yet.
Yeah, I got my stuff from metalinjection.net, so there you go.
Yeah, that's what I shared my posts from, was from Metal Injection.
Oh, shit. All right. All right, well, at least the important guy got his in there, right? All right, so, Dreadwind, what was your heavy metal news you had there for us?
Crowbar. Another fucking good band.
Great band.
Yes.
New album, The Serpent Only Lies, drops next week, October 28th.
Nice.
Sweet.
Check it out.
All right. And did you have any other ones other than ones I stole from you there?
One that I had recently read over, Creator's going to be headlining at a show. We don't know what yet. So we're going to see Creator in the States again. We're hoping, fingers crossed.
A show or a tour?
I think it's a show. Like I said, I just glanced over that particular piece of news when I was looking for my news today. So.
Okay.
All right. Gotcha. So we're going to dive right into our first song that we reviewed. And it was from a band called Manowar, formed in New York in 1980. And the song was called Defender, from their fifth album, Fighting for the World. And
Fighting the World.
I'm sorry. I don't know why I put Ford in there, but yeah, Fighting the World is the name. You're right. I thought, first of all, the album cover I saw was like, it could have just like been dropped into any 1980s album cover. It was like a stylized version of the band members, like all muscled out and ripped out, and like
it's like a cross between Conan and Spinal Tap.
That's exactly what I wasn't going to say Spinal Tap, but I thought I was going to say that, yeah, they look like Conan eyes. So yeah, there was that. I like the slow beginning, right, that they had, part where they had the guy talking and whatnot. But I just thought they maybe did it a little too long, because they did it for 2 minutes. Okay, like I like that kind of thing. Like, for instance, the Iron Maiden song "Alexander the Great," where he says, "Ask for thyself another kingdom," but that lasts for like 10 seconds. Well, that's in my opinion, that kind of thing is good. Just don't let it take away from the song, I guess. So that's just my opinion or anything. But I thought it sounded very Dungeons and Dragons-esque, and there were some very definite biblical allusions in the song. And
I love Man of War.
and my final criticism of it is I thought it might have been just a touch. The song itself might have been a touch too long because they had a 30-second fade out. Which fade outs are okay. I'm not a huge fan of them, but like I mean, I don't mind like a 10-second or fade out, but a half a minute that's a little bit long for me. So anyway, Defender by Man of War I gave a 6.0, and we'll go to Dreadwind here.
Here we go.
Yeah, Man of War is they're a guilty pleasure of mine, I have to admit. First of all, the guy speaking at the beginning just happens to be somebody you might have heard of. Orson Welles.
Yeah.
The voice of Unicron.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Orson Welles. It's Orson Welles. I mean, come on. It's kind of an epic sounding thing. And it's funny you mentioned Dungeons and Dragons because actually that's my note is it sounds like something you would listen to start a D&D campaign.
It definitely does.
The guitar solo is really good. The guitar player at that time was a really good. I don't know. I'm not sure who's playing with him now. That was Ross the Boss at the time. He was, I think, their first guitar player. Good solo. It's a big epic, like you said, Dungeons and Dragons themed song, and it's always been a favorite of mine. It's not their typical. A lot of their songs are more kind of. I don't know how to describe it, but
Viking.
Viking type, yeah,
which
arena.
I will definitely cover because.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a favorite of mine. It's always been a favorite of mine. I gave it a 9 because I really like it.
See, my thing is about the Unicron thing is if you added up all of Unicron's lines in the movie, I doubt you would get 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It works for the song, I think.
All right, so let's go to Tony. Go ahead, Eric.
Mr. Stark, it's your turn.
Yeah. Where to begin with this? God, Man of War is one of the first bands that I had listened to for metal, and I'm not gonna keep this musing. I'm gonna try to keep it short, but it's one of the core bands that really got me into metal outside of the big four, like outside of getting in there into the pit and moshing and getting into that whole excitement. It got me into exploring thematic metal, certain power metal bands at the time, and it began to expand my horizons on the whole. If it wasn't for Man of War, I doubt that Amon Amarth would have impacted me as much, and Viking metal as a whole wouldn't have impacted me as much. They're like the great granddaddies of Viking metal, and I love them to death. And this song, no exception. I love the Orson Welles sign on to this. I love that speech. I don't care if it's 2 minutes long. I love the D&D-esque thing of it because I've actually used this song in a D&D campaign. I gave it a solid 9 too. I mean, it's an epic, and most of their stuff is very much an epic. So there you go.
Yeah, they have a song off of a different album that is literally 30 minutes long.
Yes.
Wow.
It's a huge piece about it's about Achilles and Hector, and there's this big battle. There's this huge drum solo in the middle of it. Really huge epic piece. It's awesome.
And another note about Ross the Boss. For those of you guys who doubt his guitar playing, those of you who are listening, just listen to his Fly to the Bumblebee, and all will become clear.
Okay. All right, so our next song was a band called ND45, and it is a side project for the Mega Man, Mr. Mustaine, and Leaving from Fear on vocals. And basically, the ND45 was just, I guess, their names. I guess in 45 was like Roman numerals. But, when bands get like cryptic and shit like that for their fans who are like, yeah, metal, they're not really going to, get too many people other than like the like metal nerds that are going to like figure that kind of shit out. But anyway, Song was called "The Day the Music Died" from their album "The Craving." I think I got that right.
Yeah.
Anyway, when I first saw that, I'm like, wait a minute, are they talking about when Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, and Big Bopper went down in that plane crash? Because I know there's another song with the same name that like is about that, but it seemed like they were talking. I was listening to the lyrics. It seemed like they were more talking about like the sterilization and industrialization of music in their lyrics. Because basically, they're talking about how it can't last like this, and people are basically cashing in as quick as they can with their music, and not really putting any heart and soul into it. That's what I took away from it. But I will say one thing: it definitely doesn't sound like Megadeth at all. Like zero like Megadeth to me. I mean, but it had a great breakdown. I thought the guitar was maybe like a little bit repetitive, maybe. But I gave it a 7.5. We'll go ahead and go to Dreadwind.
Okay. Yeah, MD45 was a very short little side project for Dave, like you said, Dave Mustaine and Lee Ving, who is the lead singer for more of a punk style band, Fear. Also, as a side note, he's done some acting. You can see him in the movie Clue.
Yes.
He's in that movie, as well as a few others. Anyway, back to the song. It's not your typical Dave Mustaine. The rhythm's not what you would expect from Megadeth.
Yeah, definitely not.
The solo is also very not Dave Mustaine. I think he tried to slow it down to fit the song, and kind of uninspiring. I remember hearing him say something at one point when they were first doing this, that he kind of approached this as more of a punk album than an actual like Megadeth.
Yeah. The description said it was punk / metal. So.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of the direction he was trying to go with it. Overall, I like the song, but it's not, like you said, it's not what you expect from Megadeth. My rating is a 7 on this one. I do like Lee Ving's vocals, though. I think his vocals fit really well with what they did. Several years later, Dave Mustaine went back and remastered all of the old Megadeth albums, and remastered this one too. And for whatever reason, the original vocal tracks were either lost or destroyed. And that happened with not just this album, but also he had to redo the vocals on Rust in Peace on several songs when he remastered it.
Yeah, I saw that it said Dave Mustaine on vocals, and then parenthetically it said remastered. So I'm guessing that's what that's all about.
Right. So when what happened
in '96 in this particular song in the album, and what was that? So.
Right. This is the original version. When the remastered version has Dave Mustaine singing on it. He offered Lee Ving to come in and redo his vocals, but he said no. You just go ahead and do them yourself. So if you hear a different version, that's the reason for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's definitely not Mega Man on vocals. And see, my thing about punk is I'm used to punk being like 1,000 miles per hour and like minute and a half long.
Yeah, like Sex Pistols and Ramones.
Yeah, Minor Threat, stuff like that. Yeah. All right, so we'll go ahead and go to the Millionaire. Didn't mean to insult you there. Billionaire, go ahead.
I have to agree with the re-release. Most people have heard the re-release and figured that would be the original copy of The Day the Music Died, because it's much more associated with Megadeth, ergo Dave Mustaine. But I do like Lee's vocal work on this song in particular a lot more. And if you were to introduce this song to somebody who's never heard the song or Megadeth, nobody would have ever guessed.
No way.
Dave Mustaine on Axe, because it was just basic guitar work. It's like, hey, I'm going to have a side project. I'm going to take a break from my real talent and just, chill. That's basically what I get from this kind of band. It's kind of like with Corey Taylor and Stone Sour. Everybody has a side project every now and then.
Hey, don't you muck up my metal podcast with mentions of Stone Sour, you fucker.
Hey, now, I can do what I want.
All right. I guess you have the money for it.
I do have the money for it. But... you would have never have guessed it was, Dave Mustaine's axe work in this song.
Dave Mustaine's axe work is legendary. So says over 35 million current sources.
And that is Jarvis, everybody. So that's his take on it. But yes, I gave the song an 7.5.
Wow, that's pretty across the board there. 7.5, and 7.5, right?
Yep.
All right. The next
I gave it
song.
just another quick side note. The drummer on this album, I can't remember his name now. I think it's Jimmy DeGracio. Is that right? He eventually joined Megadeth a few years later.
Oh yeah.
He replaced Nick Menza.
All right. So our next song is by a band called In This Moment, formed in LA in 2005. I'm just gonna go ahead and fucking address the elephant in the room that, of course, everybody is thinking. Maria Brink is indeed hot. Okay. If you ever look up Maria Brink on Google, they're going to be sexy time pictures of her, and not. Well, I guess there are probably some pictures of her singing too, but for the most part, it's like her half naked. So yes, Maria Brink, attractive, right? But anyway, this is from their Blood. The title track from their 2012 album Blood, and the whole entire song, the lyrics to it are irony, right? Because she's saying, she hates him for all the good shit that he does, but she loves him for all the bad shit that he does. So it's like one of those, like, almost reminds me of like a Harlequin type relationship with somebody, or Harley Quinn, or what the fuck you want to call it.
Stockholm's.
Yeah, like a Stockholm syndrome, right? Something like that, where you like the abuse and you get annoyed when they act nice, I guess. So anyway, and one more thing I wanted to note about this is this lyric that I thought before was "My friend to the next free," which I could never fucking understand it. He's saying "pump mud through my veins," right? So maybe maybe I'm guessing that might be a drug reference there, and maybe the whole entire song might be, in Blood too, might be a drug reference. The whole entire song might be maybe about like two people going through heroin addiction. I don't know what the song's about.
Well, I mean, there will be a song that's a much more evident later on in the list about.
Right, and so I thought maybe like that "pump mud through my veins," mud being brown and heroin typically, So I don't know, but anyway, I gave it a 6.5. I'm not really a huge In This Moment fan, and typically, like, you can tell the metal that I won't like because it gets lots of radio play. So, and this is definitely one of those. So yeah, I gave it a 6.5. I mean, it's pretty good. I wouldn't like shit on it, but I mean, just not like Anthrax. So there you go. That's
I mean, it's the kind of song that you hear on the radio, and it's not superlative, but it's not that bad.
Right. So let's go ahead and go with the Dreadwin. What are your thoughts on In This Moment, Blood? It better be good because you came up with the list.
I'm typically a fan, not of every female vocal led band, but I do like a lot of female vocal metal bands. I am a fan of In This Moment, and the thing about In This Moment is they've really changed their sound a lot through the years.
Yeah.
If you go back and listen to some of their older albums, it sounds like a completely different band. You can almost get like three different bands from their albums.
I'm going to admit right now that I have one of their songs called "The Gun Show" on my iPod that I use to jam. But I think that's a pretty good song too.
I was just about to mention that their older songs are a lot more technical, and she can really sing. They do a killer version. Look this up after the show's over. They do a killer cover of Blondie's "Call Me."
Really?
Check that one out. It is amazing, and she sings through it like it's great. And then they changed their style a little bit, and they went more with the screaming, which is the Gun Show song. So those are like two completely different, polar opposite ends of their sound from their previous albums. And then they eventually evolved into, this is a more recent album, this sound, which is a little more simplified, simpler songs, simpler arrangements. This is purely speculation, but I'm assuming maybe they were trying to avoid some comparisons, because anytime you have a metal band with a female singer, Lacuna Coil, or if she's screaming, it's Arch Enemy,
Arch Enemy, or OTEP,
or OTEP, yeah,
right, or OTEP, yeah, So maybe they're trying to find their own little niche, and that's why their sound has changed so much. I don't know. I'm just speculating, but this is a much more theatrical style that they have going on now. and they do put on a good show. I like them. I like this song, but I like the gun show also. I like their more technical stuff. I'm really
adrenalized.
Adrenalize. Yeah, I had a hard time picking which song to go with on this one, because I like so many of their songs, and I like I said, they change their styles, but I like all the styles that they've gone through. So I'm a fan of their older stuff. I'm a fan of their screaming stuff. I'm a fan of the newer stuff. And this particular album is really good. I gave this song a 9 because it's one of my favorite songs. It's one of my favorite songs off this particular album. But check out their other stuff too.
You must really be attracted to Maria.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's that too. But I actually met this band a couple years ago. Saw them in concert, and we had the meet and greet, and I got to meet them, and they were really nice and down to earth. I mean, it was one of the first times I met a band where you could feel that they were genuinely happy that you were there. Like they were almost thanking us prophetically for thank you so much for coming and being here, and and that was really cool.
I heard them on the local radio show here, and they definitely did sound down there. Let's go ahead and go to Tony. Go ahead.
Yeah, Jarvis pointed out earlier, she is pure eye candy. So with that stated, though, they also are a very theatrical band. I've had the honor of seeing them live twice. And this song is, in this particular, in this moment, this song is really, really good. So there's not much more that I can say that hasn't been said already.
Mr. Stark has a folder dedicated to those theatrics.
No, you get to shut up. That's what you do. But yeah, I gave the song an 8. It's definitely worth the 8.
All right. I think our average is right around like a 7.3 or so. It's pretty good. All right, our next song is by Cavalera Conspiracy, formed in 2007 by ex-Sepultura. I don't even want to say front people. Basically, they were Sepultura. Igor and Max Cavalera. The song is called "Killing Inside." My first note is thrash as fuck. Because I thought this song was amazing. The first solo was short but pretty good, I thought. The second solo was even better. And it was longer and just awesome. And this song also had a lot of biblical allusions to it. Basically, it was like, apocalyptic type stuff and, reap the whirlwind type things. And I gave it an 8.5 because I love Max. Anything Max does, I love. I mean, I guess like Soulfly wouldn't be my total favorite, but I still like them. But one thing that annoys me about Cavalera Conspiracy is people try to tell me that Cavalera Conspiracy and Nail Bomb are the same thing. That always pisses me off because they're not. It makes me want to punch people in the face. So yeah, I am a fan of this song. And did I say it before? I think I said it. I gave it 8.5. Let's go with or if I changed it, then fuck it, whatever the second one was. So let's go ahead and go with Dreadwind.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely not Nail Bomb. I think we did Nail Bomb before, and
last week I think.
Yeah, that's Sepultura on Speed. This one, I just have one note: brutal.
Yes.
It's what you expect from Sepultura, and it's not Sepultura, but that's what you expect from them. I love this song. This song kicks ass all the way through.
Agreed.
Yeah.
There's hardly anything wrong with this song at all. I give it a 9.5.
Oh wow! I think it's the highest you've ever given.
Yeah,
it is. It is. Yeah.
All right, Tony.
This is the kind of song you play twisted metal to while headbanging with a beer in one hand and the other on the wheel. It's stompy, it's thrash, it's moshy as fuck. And I mean, it's hard, it's crunchy, it's brutal, it hits you in the face repeatedly, hits you in the balls repeatedly.
I had to keep him from playing this song during target practice on more than one occasion.
Yeah, true facts. The first solo is a teaser. Like, when you hear the first solo, you think, oh, please don't tell me that's it. Then they just ram that in your head, ram that nice grade A shredding. I gave it a solid 9. It's worthy of it.
I think that averages out to about a 9.
This is the first Cavalera Conspiracy song I had ever heard. And it was one where I listened to it and my jaw hit the floor.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh my God, what is this?
All right. Well, all right. So moving on to our next song. It's by the NOLA band Goat Horde, formed in 1997. And the song is called, my fucking writing sucks here, but it looks like I wrote Bearing Teeth for the Revolt, or for Revolt.
Yep.
Yeah, Bearing Teeth for Revolt.
Black metal.
Yeah, and it's from their album Constricting Rage of the Merciless, which I think is a badass name for an album. The main riff in the song is, what's the word I'm looking for here? Fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
The guitar inflections that they do off of that main riff are, what's the word I'm looking for here? Fucking amazing. It almost sounds, I mean, it had like almost reminded me a little bit of Zakk Wylde with the artificial harmonics they were doing there. I thought it was pretty fucking awesome. I mean, they were doing just awesome stuff with the guitar. The tempo change also was awesome, and I know Dreadwin's a big fan of tempo changes. Like, there's one point they just totally changed the tempo of the song.
Yeah.
The drums totally changed, the guitar totally changed, everything totally changed.
Unexpectedly at that.
Yeah, right, and it was just awesome. And also, there's at one point in the song that the lead singer / guitar player is playing air guitar. There's nothing wrong with that. It reminded me of me at the gym, fucking headbanging and playing air guitar while I'm working out, and having everybody stare at me like, "What the fuck is this guy on?" So I'm going to give this a 9.5. It was amazing from beginning to end.
Wow.
So that's my, and I know I'm a little bit wet in the pants right now. So that's my fucking.
I think that's your highest score, I think.
Yeah, I think it is, and I loved it. So let's go ahead and go Dreadwin. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. I really, really, really wanted to pick an Acid Bath song for this list, but unfortunately, fucking Rotten Records yanks every goddamn video down that somebody puts up. So I went with the next best thing, which is Goat Horde, which features their guitar player Sammy, who used to be in Acid Bath. This was his side band when he was in Acid Bath, and when Acid Bath broke up, he just went full tilt with it, and now it's his main band. The singer used to be the singer for another band called Soylent Green from the Louisiana area. This is just an old school thrash intro with the guitars. It's they're dressed up and duked out, and the spikes and the whole black metal vibe going on, but the song itself has much more of a thrash vibe to it.
Definitely thrash.
Yeah, and the change-ups. Oh yeah, and the change-ups are awesome. I gave this one an 8.5. It's a really good song.
I just want to interject right here. That band Soylent Green you're talking about, they have an album called Pussy Soul. I just wanted to say that.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So, all right. You gave it what, 8.5?
8.5.
All right. Tony, go ahead.
The subject matter that, Sam Raimi's band, because let's just face it, I love Sam Raimi. I love his guitar work, always have. Is this band is what all other black metal bands should aspire to be, despite much more thrash metal elements. Yes, you could put subject matter and lyrics into a song and not make it sound really bad audio quality, or make it sound like, you have an orchestra behind you or some stupid shit like this. Because this is core metal 101 is what this song is. Beginning to end, good riffs, good vocals, good follow through, keeps you on your toes. Metal. This is what it's about. And I gave it a 9. I gave it a 9. Yeah.
All right. I think they average out at about 8.8 or something. That's pretty fucking good. All right. Okay. The next song is a cover song. It's by a band called Demons and Wizards. And I'm guessing this band is almost like a supergroup type band, because it's got John Schaefer in it, and it's got Hansi Kirchen, or whatever the fuck his name is. But anyway, a guy from Iced Earth and a guy from Blind Guardian. And I'm just going to go ahead and say this right off the bat, and it's probably going to cause a lot of butt hurt. But I don't like Led Zeppelin. I've never liked Led Zeppelin. And when people tell me that Led Zeppelin is heavy metal, I get annoyed. Because if you're looking for heavy metal from that era, Black Sabbath, right? But anyway, and the song "Immigrant Song" is one of my least favorite Led Zeppelin songs, and mainly it's because of the vocals on it. That very first part really annoys me. And like I said, this might rub some people the wrong way, but I will say this cover of it is pretty goddamn good. I look way better than the Led Zeppelin part. So I give this song a 7.5 because even though I don't like Led Zeppelin and I don't like the particular song, Immigrant Song, I like this cover. So there you go, 7.5. And go with Dreadwind.
Cool. Yeah. It's John Schaefer, who's the guitar player and main songwriter of Iced Earth, and then Hansi, whatever his last name is, who's the singer from Blind Guardian.
Blind Guardian. Oh.
And they actually did, I think they did 2 Demons and Wizard albums. I know they did at least 2 that they worked together. I love this song. It's got a much heavier rhythm. The drums are just driving. His voice is a perfect fit for the song, and I'm with you. I like it better than. I'm not a huge Led Zeppelin fan. I'll listen to him, but I'm not a huge fan. I like this one better than the original. I give it an 8, solid 8.
Yeah, I'm just gonna interject here real quick too. Is they did do 2 albums, and one is their self-titled album, Demons and Wizards, and the other one is Touched by the Crimson King, which if you've ever played Warhammer 40K, might make you a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
It seems like Magnus might be getting a little frisky with people there. So
Yes.
Yeah, I believe this is from the Crimson King album.
Right? It is from the Crimson King. Yeah.
All right, so we'll go ahead and go with Tony. Go ahead.
Oh man. When I want to listen to Led Zeppelin, it's usually when I have like this big bowl of purple haze and I'm wanting to chill and relax, which is not metal. Metal is about moving and getting up and getting pissed and getting, adrenaline rushes. And so that in essence, Led Zeppelin is classic rock, not heavy metal. So
exactly.
As for the Demons and Wizards cover of the song, the first thing I noticed was the bass licks. These were the kind of bass licks and percussion that worked with it that give you the vibration in your sternum kind of bass licks. That makes me happy. Because one of my favorite bands of all time is Motorhead.
Oh, yeah. That's definitely bass-driven.
Of the bass drive. So whenever I see a song that's bass-driven or hear a song that's bass-driven, that's plus points for me. So with that said, I love the vocal rehash of this. It is definitely an excellent cover. I mean, if it were me, I would have them, do other covers.
Please tell me they didn't do a Stairway to Heaven cover, sir.
No, they didn't. But I think that they might do a good job with that if they did. And that's how much faith I'm putting into that. It is a solid 8 on my end.
All right. Scored out pretty good, though, I think. All right, so, yeah. All right, moving on to our next song. You know what we really need in this? We need, like, somebody that knows what they're doing with computers to, like, be able to, like, put our scores up on the screen. And then, like, average them as it goes, you know what I mean? Like, like when fucking people do the high dive and shit. Yes. But anyway. All right.
Yeah, that's above my pay grade.
Yeah, mine too. All right, fucking do that. All
okay,
right.
So what you're saying is you want me to work on this. I got you.
Yeah, if you don't mind, that'd be good. So, all right, so our next band is a band called Semblant, and the song was called "What Lies Ahead," and I had to read this description about 14 times, but they're gothic metal from Brazil, which I was like, what is that? But I will say this, and I like saying I will say this a lot, but the technicality of the music I thought was really, 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 really good. My problem was I watched the video version of it, and the guy's eye makeup was distracting to me, and so was like the singer. I don't know what her name is, but the singer is fairly attractive, and she's wearing like this corset thing, and she's got it like half unlaced, and that was also distracting to me. Not complaining, but it was distracting to me. And,
In a good way.
Yeah, right. It was maybe a little too operatic for me, the singing, but I mean, it was good. I mean, she definitely knows how to sing. That's without question. And not only that is, I think the song, I'm pretty almost certain the song was in English. And you know, if you are English as a second language and you're singing in English, this is your second language, that to me is also pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So I really liked it. And it's not typically the type of thing, and I've never heard this band before, and I never heard this song before.
Yeah.
And I really liked it, and that's one of the reasons why I like doing the show, to discover new shit. And I gave it 7.5. I thought it was pretty good. So there you go. And oh, and one more thing I want to say is, if you watch the video on YouTube, at the very end, like there's like this whole minute-long little skit that they do about like zombies or some shit, which was, you know, I thought was a little extraneous, but that's just me. All right, so Dreadwood.
Yeah, usually when the song's over, I just stop it. But yeah, they're from Brazil, and this particular female singer, I don't know her name, but I don't think she's their original female singer. I'm pretty sure they have at least another album or two before her, but I think she's their current one. She's a beautiful woman, and she's got a beautiful voice. I love her blue hair.
Yeah, me too.
I thought that was cool, you know. And one thing you talking about the video that I thought was funny was like she's taller than the other dude that sings to begin with, and then she's wearing like these huge platform heels.
Oh, right.
So she's like towering over this, you know, this little Brazilian dude who's the singer. Yeah. The guitar solo is kick ass. Yeah, the guitar solo is kick ass. Both guitar players are really good. I love that they're using 7 strings. It's kind of got that, like you said, kind of an operatic feel to it with the keyboards and everything. I wasn't too sure when I first heard it about the male vocals, because the way he sings, I was kind of like, I don't know about that. But the more I listen to it, it works well together, bouncing off of her vocals, you know.
Yeah, them two together is good. It's almost like an Alice in Chains thing, where like the
it's
not as good as they are together.
It's a neat contrast. So I really like the song. I give it a solid 8.
All right, Tony, go ahead.
Like our big blue stabby face secret friend over here, it was the first time I've heard this band, and I was very impressed with my cherry being popped with this band. The orchestral kind of opera kind of esque thing was a bit distracting. You know, the tall chick with the blue hair was a bit distracting.
Shall I open a new folder for your theatrics, sir?
Later. But basically, what stood out in this song was the instrumental work. The guitars, how they paired together, how they worked with each other. It was very symbiotic guitar work. The solo was amazing.
Solos, because both of them did a solo.
Solos, yes. That's just good stuff. I gave it an 8.
All right. Okay. Taking a definite like 180-degree turn from that. Our next band is Exporters. And the song that they're from, again, another Southern band. It's another NOLA band formed in 1985, which is a pretty darn good year for heavy metal. And this song is called Desecrator, and it is literally about desecrating things. Like if you listen to the lyrics, he's talking about spitting in your face and putting on your grave. And at one point he says, "Fuck your God." That's a quote, not from me, but from the guy. So don't get on my back about it. So there you go. It's from their album Slaughter in the Vatican, which is definitely not a very Christian type album name.
I wonder why these guys never went mainstream, right?
Right. I'm sure maybe the Pope probably didn't agree to that one. So yes, the one thing that I do notice about the band is like, and this is like a lot of early thrashes like this, in my opinion, is it was very drum intensive, and the drums were turned up pretty high. I don't know why that's like that, but a lot of early thrash, you can definitely hear the drums cranking out pretty good,
yeah.
and the guitar kind of gets a little washed out, in my opinion. The cover art was disturbing. to say the least. The guy, yeah, okay, I'm not even going to describe it, but it was disturbing. Just trust me on that. But I liked it. I gave it a 7. It might have been a little bit too long for my taste, but yeah, I gave it a 7.0. Dreadwind.
Yeah, killer opening rhythm. The guitars are great in it. Talking about the production thing, I found with a lot of the Exhorter stuff that his vocals tend to get a little washed out in the mix. It's hard to hear his vocals sometimes. They just seem to sit a little low in the mix. So I'm not sure if that's production quality or intentional or what. But these guys are kind of legendary in New Orleans. They were, like you said, they were formed around '85. They were doing this type of stuff back when Pantera was still
Power
doing
metal?
their glam. Power, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I mean, Phil was in New Orleans listening to these guys and had demo tapes of these guys and other bands. So when he went to Pantera, he brought that stuff and, hey man, check these guys out, and I think Pantera was starting to go that way on their own anyway, but this definitely had at least some sort of effect on some of their changes in their own music. And I know they get compared a lot, but I think the comparisons are, legitimate. Like I said, Slaughter in the Vatican, Desecrator,
Pissing on graves.
Yeah, they're not going to be mainstream very well, but I give this one an 8 because they're just a legendary band from New Orleans, and it's a little long, but it still kicks ass. All
right. What about you there, Tony?
Oh, this song just takes me back. I mean, it hasn't been said already. What's not to say? I like it. I like the way they make love to the whammy bar. I like the way that it's very relatable. Whenever people hear this kind of music, they immediately will think of, Pantera, Lamb of God.
I thought of like hanging out next to my 1988 Chevy Celebrity in a jean jacket, trying to be tough.
Yeah, Chevy Celebrity. That's a good station wagon, by the way.
The sedan was an awful car. Let's say, okay, right.
Yes. But if it wasn't for the anti-Christian stuff, they would be very much mainstream because the musical talent is there. It's there in spades. So, but when it comes right down to it, some people want to God bash. That's their prerogative.
It is okay. Mr. Stark is a heathen wolf of Odin.
True facts, yo. True facts.
All right.
I would hang out with Goldilocks, so that's a given. So
pretty much can't help yourself then.
Yeah.
Rating?
Do you have a rating?
Oh, rating? God, that's a tough one. I'm going to go ahead and give it a solid 8.
Solid 8. All right. So I think they average out about 7.666. All right.
666. Now I'll just throw in talking about the religious connotations. New Orleans and southern Louisiana in and of itself is kind of unique. All across the South.
Voodoo.
Well, all across the South, you have what's known as the Bible Belt, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's predominantly Baptist, Southern Baptist, except a little bitty tiny island known as South Louisiana, which is predominantly Catholic. Very, very strong Catholic in that whole area, especially around New Orleans and everything. So I don't know how much that plays into it, if there's just an extra feeling of being, repressed a little more or whatever. But I think that, along with the whole voodoo connotations that are down in there as well, you got this big mix of all kinds of weird stuff going on in that area. And you tend to have a lot of bands come out like Goat Whore, Exhorter, with these anti-Christian views, and I'm not sure. I'm sure that plays a part in it somehow.
I guarantee it does.
Yeah.
That's
a root.
Yeah.
All right. So
that's a bloody root.
Yeah. Right. Nice.
Root blood.
All right. So our next band is Dope Throne, and that's just wanted to say that's also the name of an Electric Wizard song. So anyway,
yep.
The song is called Dark Foil, which is, I believe, is the title track from their 2011 album.
And also there's also a band called Dark Throne as well, not to be confused with this band, Dope Throne.
Oh yeah, they're, I'm sure, like stark differences. So
Yeah.
groovy as fuck.
Yeah.
Right.
This song was just groovy from beginning to end, and it's definitely stoner metal or gotta draw a
Sludge.
blanket. Yeah, or sludge. Yeah, thank you. Sludge metal. It's definitely that. I mean, you know, you can tell from the right off the rip that's what it is. I thought it was a little bit too heavy on the sound bites from like movies and stuff. The original, the opening that's from the movie called The Gate, and then they have like a whole bunch of like sound bites all throughout the song, which I could have done without that. I mean, I like White Zombie, and they do that a lot too. But I mean, I think White Zombie does it a little more tastefully. But I really liked it. I gave it an 8.0. Should I win?
Yeah, the vocals are kind of vocals were kind of a black metal style. The way he sings.
Sure.
But then the music, like you said, is very sludgy and stoner metal. One thing I liked about this one is a lot of sludge and stoner metal bands these days, for some reason, they sit on one riff for like ever.
Definitely.
You know, and you'll get in and it'll be like 3 minutes into the song and they haven't changed the riff yet, and the singer hasn't come in.
That's because of the short attention span of their listeners, man.
You know, it's like, come on. This one, they changed up the rhythms enough to keep it from sounding monotonous.
Yeah.
You know? So, you know, you have the rhythm, and I get, you know, these rhythms are long and it's a slower pace, so it takes a little bit longer to get through a measure. But still, if you're 2 minutes into the song and your rhythm hasn't changed yet, I'm probably going to be skipping. So, I like this song though, and I really liked you talked about the sound clips. I liked the sound clip in the middle. It's the 911 call of the police officer that
he wants to die slowly.
Yeah, he OD'd on. I think we OD'd on some pot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. I give it a 7.
All right, Tony.
What can I say about this song, man?
Mr. Stark is still a bit altered after taking off of the throne.
Yeah, I was kind of stoned after the song. When it comes right down to it, this is a good combination of groovy sludge stoner sound and doom metal. Like, I never thought that those two could ever be partnered together. And this band's another first band for me. So when I first heard the opening riffs, I was like, oh, here we go. It's going to be good. You know, it's going to be like, I'm going to get high now. And then, wait a minute. That's some devil shit. So, you know, with that said, I thought it was good hybridization of the two genres. They have a unique sound as a result. And so I give this song 7.
A 7, all right. Okay. All right, our last song of the podcast is a band called Southern Whiskey Rebellion. And I hadn't heard of Dope Throne either, by the way. This last song is by a band called Southern Whiskey Rebellion, another band I'd never heard of. And the song is called Incest, Rape, and Lies, which sounds like and it's from their album On Guard Until the Seal is Broken, which that's a little bit of a biblical reference there too, I believe. So yeah.
Actually, I think that's more of a reference to drinking. I mean, I don't, you know, whenever breaking the seal happens, that means that you're no longer able to hold your alcohol. So.
Nah, see, I thought they were talking about the 7th seal, but okay.
I'm talking about when you need to take a piss after you've had about 15 beers.
Well, since their name has whiskey in their name, you might be right. Okay, so my notes on this.
Alcoholic, I'm always right.
All right. About alcohol. All right, so my notes on this is I thought the intro was way too long on this song. And, like, you can definitely tell it was Southern metal, right? Like, without even Southern in their name, unquestionably Southern metal, just by, like, the way the riffs were structured. They have, like, a very distinct sound, which I like, don't get me wrong. It's distinctive. And I thought the drum part at the end, that they changed it up and went to like this altered drum part at the end, I thought that was pretty cool. I wasn't a huge fan of the song, so I give it a 6.5. Dred?
I was wondering about some of the clips you were talking about, because this one had a lot of clips and samples in it.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
mixed up with the other one. I could have done without the audio clips and the audio samples.
It
that
took
I
away from
found.
the song.
Yeah, I found it took away from the song. It could be a much stronger song without those in it. It has kind of a Crowbar vibe to it.
A little bit, yeah.
I thought, yeah, it's got a good groove to it. There's a really slow change towards the end where it just talk about sludge. I mean, you just like slow, but then it picks up at the end with that drum change, and it kind of rocks out towards the end. Overall, I liked it. This is a band from the New Orleans area. They're actually based in a small town called Thibodaux, Louisiana. I give this a 7.
All right. One thing I want to say though is like it did have a kind of a Crowbar vibe, but definitely the vocalist was not Kirk Windstein.
Right.
So, all right. So Tony, go ahead.
This is the kind of song that the Firefly family would be listening to, like their pre-murder the stupid kids party.
Wait, hold on a second. What are you talking about?
The Firefly family from the House of a Thousand Corpses movie.
I never knew that they had a last name, but okay, now I've been educated. I know exactly what you're talking about now. Go ahead.
Otis Driftwood would totally be dancing with the family, listening to this kind of song at the party before the finale where they kill everybody.
Drown them in a bucket of gasoline?
Yeah. So I can dig this kind of sound. I live in Kentucky. The sound is predominant down here.
I thought the sound down there was predominantly pig squeals.
Pig squeals, yeah. And
banjos.
Yeah, but then in small pockets, you do come across good stuff. And, not just pigs, but razorbacks.
Nice.
But at any rate, I like this song. I thought that the intro clips that they had chosen were not only weird, but kind of opposite to what they were trying to achieve with the song. I did like the drum set. I did like the change that the drums had led into. And overall, I gave the song a 7.
All right. Okay. Now we go to the part of the show where we talk about shit that we've seen or done or been around or smelled or ingested or imbibed at
my favorite part.
So here we go. I want to talk about there was a festival, and I'm not even sure what the festival was, but I had the place I used to work. One of our customers / vendors built part of the arena, which no longer is in existence anymore. It's the main amphitheater. They shut it down, but at any rate, I had like really awesome seats, and which like everybody else had to like either stand or they were like crammed in these like auditorium style seating, and I had like this like there was like maybe 10 of these, and they're like little roped off areas in the middle where they had like a table and 4 chairs where you could like watch the thing, sitting down, and like had plenty of room around you, and nobody's around to get near you, and I had really good parking to this like. That was probably the best part. It's like the parking was set up in such a way where the parking lot I went into, you like went right off and you were like maybe 45 seconds away from the highway, whereas everybody else got stuck, waiting for the thousands of people trying to get out of there. So I thought that was awesome. But anyway, that's not the story of this thing. But anyway, what I thought was interesting is when you walked from the VIP parking lot to the stage area, the audience area, I saw Brian Fair from Shadows Fall getting a neck massage, which I thought was pretty interesting. And I'm not sure what the fuck the guy's name is, but he's the guy from System of a Down that has like the beard that's. I don't even really like System. Yeah, he's got the beard that's like a braided almost.
The singer that can't sing.
Yeah. Anyway, he was driving around a golf cart and almost hit me. So yeah. Now I'm not like I said, I'm not a big fan of System of a Down, but one thing I thought
toxicity of his driving.
Yeah, exactly. What I thought was pretty amusing about like their set when System of a Down came on, and again, I'm not a System of a Down fan by any stretch of the imagination, but the guy just got up there and he like just started screaming for like 45 seconds about the evils of capitalism. It was just like totally unintelligible, almost what he said. But anyway, one story. My second story is, this will be a quick one. is in Ozfest at one time, OTEP was playing the second stage, and somebody had stage dive, and nobody caught him, so he landed on his face. Or I'm not sure if nobody caught him or not enough people caught him, but anyway, he landed on his face, and I caught a glimpse of the guy when he stood up, and his face was just like covered in gravel and blood, right?
Ugh.
So, which I thought was, hey, you get what you pay for when you stage dive, right? But at any rate, which I thought was really cool what OTEP did, she said, you know what, everybody make a hole for the paramedics or the show's over. So, here's the thing about like moshing and everything. It's fun to get in there and hit people, and yeah, you can get hurt and everything like that. But some people take it a little bit too far. Some people try to be a dick and intentionally, super hurt people and like put them in the hospital and everything. And that to me is not cool. That's not what moshing's all about. Moshing's in there, get in there amongst other metalheads and fuck around. So I thought that was cool of OTEP to do that. And those are my stories. So go to Judgment.
Cool. Yeah, I'm totally with you on the moshing. People just get in there with the intent to hurt people, and that's not the spirit of it. The spirit's to get in there and
in the pit.
Yeah,
right.
The spirit's to get in there and just kind of bounce around and you get pushed and shoved here and there. You might catch an elbow once in a while, but it's not intentional. And if somebody falls down, fucking pick them up.
Right, exactly.
But anyway, rant over. Let's see, my story. I saw Metallica one time. One of the times I saw Metallica. At the time, I was a member of their fan club. And through the fan club, I was able to purchase a meet and greet pass.
Oh, wow.
Cool. So I got it. I had to go pick it up at the will call station, and it's just like a limited access pass. And all it said was pick up your pass at the will call station. Someone will direct you to where you have to go prior to the show because you're supposed to meet them before the show.
Right.
So I was like, okay. So I went to pick it up and I said, so where am I supposed to go for this? And they go, I have no idea. Okay. Yeah. So I'm like, all right. So I'll go inside. I'm with my girlfriend at the time. And walk in and, there's a few people are trickling in and it's, the stage is set up and everything. And it's when they were doing that big stage in the middle, that
snake pit thing.
It was like the figure eight style,
mm-hmm.
Where they had the two, kind of like the two stages in one, and it's right in the middle of the arena.
All right.
So you had people literally all the way around the stage. So I was walking around looking and wasn't sure where anything was. So I went to go ask one of the security guards, and right in front of the backstage area, I said, do you know where the meet and greet's supposed to be? He said, I have no idea, man. So I'm like, okay. So I wait another minute or two, and then I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I have a backstage pass. Let me see if I can make this work for me, right? So I point to my pass. I'm like, so can I just go back there? He's like, all right, go ahead.
Nice.
So I'll just walk backstage. And here's a tip for you people. If you're ever in a situation where you're not sure if you're supposed to be there or not, if you look like you're supposed to be there and you act like you're supposed to be there, most of the time people will assume you're supposed to be there, right, and they'll leave you alone. Around backstage, nobody bothered me because I acted like I was supposed to be there. I went all the way around the side to the other side of the auditorium, or the arena, and I saw all the cases with their equipment and everything. It was all packed off to the side, and I'm like, well, it's not supposed to be over here. So then I come all the way back. Nobody bothered me the whole time I'm back there. I didn't push my luck though and go into the more restricted area because I knew it was a limited access. But I walked around for a few minutes, couldn't find where I was supposed to go, so I came back out. And then eventually they had a couple people sitting up in a section off by themselves, and I noticed they had the same passes I had. It was like a little sticker you had to put on your shirt. So I went up there, and that's where we're supposed to sit. So then we sat there for a few minutes, and then somebody finally came and got us and took us backstage. And then we got to, for the second time for me, and then we got to, we had to line up in like a semicircle, and it was just James and Jason were the only two that showed up. But they came in, and basically they just walked down the line and, shake your hand, take a picture, sign whatever you have to sign. And the weird thing was, they said when Jason said, listen, when Jason comes out, he doesn't like flash photography. So, either don't take, if you're going to take a picture with him, he doesn't want to be facing the camera. So I was like, okay. So I thought that was kind of weird, but that's what he did. So every picture he did something where he wasn't facing the camera. And like with me, like it was odd.
October 2016.
Yeah, thanks for the obvious.
And he, the one with me, I got like he's like staring me in the face with this like kind of pissed off look or whatever. Like it's kind of a funny picture, but I just
That
thought
he
it was
does all the
kinda
time.
odd.
Yeah, that face.
Yeah. So I just thought it was kind of odd that he did that. But it's a funny picture, and it makes for a funny story. But they were nice. He was real nice. I got to talk to him for a little bit. James was more of I didn't know what to say, just kind of hi, And I got him to sign my And Justice for All CD, so that was pretty cool. And then COC opened for him. So
Also sweet.
Good concert. Good
Yeah,
concert.
I have a soundbite from one of those concerts, and when he says, "Hey, we got our opening band, COC," he called him cock.
Yeah.
Pretty funny. So anyway, let's go ahead and go. Tony's concert story. Go.
Oh, let's see here. So many stories. So many stories.
A drinking story. It's going to be a drinking story, isn't it?
No, it actually isn't. You are wrong. It's going to be the time that this year's barbecue that happened about 2 months ago now, I think. It's like in August. And my awesome, impeccable luck, I had some serious concert karma at the gate. I went through hell and high water to make this show. I had to basically schedule a ride, find a way up there, request off work, be back at work. The way it was set up is I wasn't going to stay for the morning after chill. I was going to go home from the band, from screaming and throwing myself around, take a quick shower, and clock into the shift that night. So with that said, I had a lot riding on this. And the band karma that I got from that, from the concert karma that I got from that is when I was at the gate in line, another person had deluxe VIP tickets. He was holding up, and he said he was getting rid of them. He was going to sell them for $50.
Well, shit.
Wow.
I said, give them here. I said, fuck a band tee, fuck any merch. Because I had like enough money for alcohol and a t-shirt. That was it.
Yeah,
So I got to be up front and center for Guar, for Lamb of God, for I Hate God, and got pictures for all of them. I got to basically share those at some point.
Sweet.
So that was some
t-shirts. T-shirts alone these days run like $40.
$40.
Yeah, fuck a t-shirt. I get to be like 10 feet from Zach. Fuck a dialer. Fuck a t-shirt. So with that said, that was some serious good band karma. Right. And that's going to be my story for this week.
Yeah, I remember when I first started going to concerts, t-shirts were $15. A little bit different now.
I was about to say, I was just about to say, remember when you could get a t-shirt for like $20 at a show?
Yeah, and then like, they fucking print those things for like 50 cents a piece. So yeah.
Cannibal Corpse had to go and start selling their shirts for $40, and then everybody jumped on the bandwagon.
Yeah. So that's a whole other story for another show. But anyway, we'll go ahead and cut it off here. And I just want to thank everybody for listening and thank my esteemed guest for being metal with me for an hour or so. And we'll go ahead and sign off and say heavy metal fucking forever. Dreadwind.
That's right. Horns up.
All right. And Tony.
Horns up. Drink irresponsibly.
All right. We're out of here.